Yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Marisol here. I'm joined again with Tim Deverell from Myndie. And we're here talking about the bill that just passed a couple of days ago and the changes that are coming in, and particularly how this is going to affect participants. So we're just going to make a short video today. We don't want to overwhelm everyone. We're just going to point out the key changes, and if you're a participant, how you can prepare for the coming changes. So yeah, this bill that passed, Tim, so passed on Tuesday, and you were saying that they'll implement that in 7 days.
Yeah. So once the bill passes Parliament and it goes to the Governor General to be ratified, and as soon as that's done, within 7 days, the bill is implemented. So the bill will be implemented sometime next week, and it comes into effect from then. Yeah, from that day.
Now, one of the big changes that we were talking about is the fact that in the past, if you're a participant and you have an NDIS plan, you would have a support coordinator or someone could put a change of circumstance form in on your behalf, or they may request a plan reassessment. But now this new bill has changed that, and actually no one can do that for you anymore. If you're a participant, you have to do it yourself. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So they've made it that the participant, the nominee, or the child representative can submit for a reassessment or a change of circumstances. So no provider now is allowed to, and that includes support coordinators, whether they're registered or not, they cannot put in for a change of circumstances anymore. It has to be just from the participant, the nominee, or the child representative. And that's a big change. It's a big ask on those people. I'm sure support coordinator or a provider might give them all the information, but that means that that participant or the nominee has to still submit all that information and get it done correctly. So it puts a lot of responsibility back on the participant and their nominee.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about all the participants that I support and how much added pressure that's going to be for them. Do you have any advice on how they could move forward? What kind of help could they get? You know, how can they deal with this change if they don't have capacity to be doing it?
Yeah, so I've had a lady on the phone already this morning, and she's got an art review coming up at the end of the month, and she feels desperate because, and I said to her, all I can do is come there and offer you comfort because this bill will pass next week, and I said, so your reviews the following week, I cannot stand there, I cannot advocate for you, I cannot assist you. Going up against the barristers at the tribunal, and she's terrified of what she's going to have to go through now. Yeah.
But regular participants, would you say that if they were with a registered provider, that they could offer them more support with this process, or?
So that's the key. If you're going to put in for a review or a change of circumstances, you've got to have good, solid evidence now to back it up, and registered providers should be able to give you that evidence. They should be able to give you support notes, times. The support notes should say that the participant has decreased in functionality, and that should be documented over a time frame. And again, independent support workers may not be able to give you that, or a unregistered provider may not have the systems in place to give you that. Yeah.
All right, and another big change, well, with that actually, so what would classify as a significant change of circumstances? So would that be just say you're moving house, or you're moving in with someone else? Or is this more a significant change to your disability?
Yeah, so there has to be a decrease in your functionality caused by your disability. And so it can't be you just don't get on with this person, you want to move house, okay, and you're moving to a different house, so you've got to have an OT assessment done for that house. They're not going to do that, okay? That's if you don't get on with somebody and that's why you're moving, that counts. Everybody goes through that in their life, so they don't see that as a disability issue, an NDIS issue. So the change has to be significant. So Maybe you were able to walk before with a walker. Now you've got to use a wheelchair. That's a significant change. That's one of the reasons you can apply for a change of circumstances or a plan review. But they've narrowed it really down, and so you need to fit into a certain box in order to submit a plan review. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And I know the other thing that came out was that participants would also be responsible for keeping records of their own support shifts, which is new. Can you explain that to people a little bit?
Yeah. So the participants have to keep records now for 3 years of their support and their support shifts, and so that'll include the notes, the times, the date, the support worker's name, what you did on that date. Everything's going to have to be recorded for 3 years. And
Was it 3 years or 5 years?
No, it's 3 years for a participant, and it's
Okay.
5 years for a nominee. So if your mum is the nominee on your plan, she has to keep the records for 5 years. But if it's just you as a participant, it's 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's completely different. At the moment, it only applies to self-managed participants, but now they're saying all participants. So that's plan managed and NDIS.
How would you suggest people keep those records of their own support shifts?
Yeah, so that's going to be very, very hard. So like as a registered provider, we have a very good system in place, and I can produce reports. I can go back 6 years and produce a report for somebody. I can produce the shift notes and the dates and the time. We have GPS tracking. So the participant can call us and we can give them that information. No problems at all as part of our service. Has a participant trying to do it with an independent support worker or an unregistered provider who may not exist in 2 years' time? I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah.
So if you've got an independent support worker, you're working with them for like a year, and then you don't work with them anymore and you lose contact with them, and then the NDIA wants you to provide records of the time that they supported you and you can't get in touch with them, what would happen?
So the NDIS have said that if they ask you for evidence of a support shift and you can't provide it, they will suspend your plan. So that means you get no further support work until you can provide that evidence.
Wow, that's just incredible. So, on that topic, so the NDIA are now going to be requesting information, evidence from participants, and what if they don't deliver that in a timely manner, then they'll just have their plans suspended.
That's correct. Yeah, the plans will be suspended. So it's a lot of pressure. So if you've got somebody maybe doing 12-hour support a day, might have 2 support workers. So that's 14 shifts over a week with the 2 support workers. And you can imagine their notes and you having to keep all the records as a participant just for 1 week. And you've got to file it in a folder that you've got to code it. So you've got to know how to be able to retrieve it when the NDIS ask you. It's a lot of work on a participant. And I don't know that many have got that capability.
Yeah, wow. Okay. The other big thing was the cut to community and social participation, which everyone is talking about, which is meant to hit us in October of this year. So how can we prepare for that as participants?
So originally they were planning to do it from January 2027, and then they announced February 2027. But when the amendment came out after Tuesday night, after it passed the Parliament, when it came out, they brought it forward to October 2026. So commencing October 2026, if your plan is up for renewal or reassessment, when they look at it, they'll be cutting your social community participation budget. Yeah.
So if you're on like a 5-year plan and you're still going to have the same plan for a few more years, it won't affect you until then.
Until you come up for reassessment or renewal. But the minister has discretion now to do a reassessment at any time. So he can order a reassessment at any time, or she can order a reassessment. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, wow. I mean, this is a lot to take in. I think those were the main things that came out with the bill and the changes. I think, yeah, I guess our whole intention of the podcast is to inform people so that they can make informed decisions and not necessarily to alarm people. So, do you have any words of advice or positive words that people can have as we move forward with these big NDIS changes, particularly if you are a participant and you have got a plan and you may be a bit worried about all of this? What words of wisdom or advice would you say?
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is have evidence. So from the 1st of July, the NDIS moved to evidence-based funding. And so you've got to keep all your evidence now of everything you're doing. And if you want to put in for a change of circumstances or a plan review or assessment, reassessment, you need to have the evidence to go with you, and you need to support that claim with the evidence. So the big thing going forward is just evidence. And yeah, if you're doing everything right, you shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, unfortunately, some people are going to be impacted quite significantly. And yeah, I think people doing the right thing don't have anything to worry about. That's yeah.
And I think there's also benefits of working with people like yourself at Myndie Care, who are registered providers, and you generally do care about your participants, and you can provide that evidence, like you were saying, but also to have good teams with participants. So, you know, having support coordinators and OTs and all the third parties working together to form really strong teams around participants where evidence can be shared. And those collaborative approaches, I think, are just going to be so much more important now as we move forward.
Yeah, so I was at the recent Sydney Disability Expo, and the big message coming out from all the providers there was that we had to collaborate, network a lot better, and support each other. So if we try to go alone now and try to do it without that network, that support, you're going to struggle. So that would be my advice too for participants and their families, is if you are trying to go it alone, manage it all by yourself, you're going to struggle. You're going to really struggle to get it go forward. So you need to network, even with other participants, network and share information and become stronger that way.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of us making this podcast. So thanks for your time, Tim. Let's leave it there. And if anyone's got any questions or comments, please drop them in the box below. And we'll also have our contact details if you want to get in touch with us. We're always welcome to have a chat and help you out with any questions or anything. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next podcast. See ya.
All right, thank you.
Bye.